Hey, what's up everyone? Dan here again with Goal Hanging. And Goal Hanging with me today, I've got Rob and Mike. And so, as usual, got my coffee, Mike's got a beer, Rob's on a detox, so he's on the strawberry water, and we're all good to go. On this episode, we're going to be speaking more about the Nations League, how it's coming along, who's getting relegated, who's getting promoted, and a little bit on how our amazing country are doing. So League A, the first group featuring France, Holland and Germany, the Germans are actually pretty much relegated.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
In that. So it makes a change. The Germans have not won a single game in this competition yet. So,
and they didn't win a game in the World Cup either, did they? So that's, if we're going straight from World Cup to Nations League, that's about what, 6 games?
I don't think so. And France have obviously world champions continuing on their very good form. But yeah, I mean, there's been some interesting games in this group, like the 0-0 draw to start with from France and Germany. So yeah, you said about the Germans obviously not winning anything in the World Cup. They had 2 games here, pretty much away from home, and lost both literally within the space of 3 days.
Strange though, because I think with especially in the last few years, you associate the Germans with obviously having a really good squad, like a young, promising squad. That sort of, when they the last year they progressed really far in that. But I don't think anyone saw the last World Cup in terms of their performances. No one really saw that come in, and then they've carried that form into the Nations League now. People got us asking questions, obviously, the manager, and what is it now time to try a different structure within the German system? Do they bring as they go for more experience, or do they keep persisting with bringing the under-21s through and making that a senior squad? But there's definitely there seems to be something wrong within sort of the German affair at the moment, and obviously the whole thing with Mesut Ozil after the World Cup as well. There's obviously big accusations against them. It's just not looking all that good for them at the moment. I'm not really sure what they can go about to try and fix it.
No, because they had the thing where they were bringing all their under 21 players through, and that was what their philosophy was basically, and that was what everyone was saying that Gareth Southgate needed to do, and that's like what he's starting to do with England. And it just shows sometimes things can stagnate if you keep at the same way all the time, and looks like the Germans are going down to League B.
I was about to say that. I mean, do you think they'll just keep declining? If they don't pick themselves up, they're not. Do you know what I mean? I reckon they could just keep going.
Man, they're Germany. They've always got something up their sleeves, haven't they? So they'll come out with something, I reckon.
I do think they. I reckon when it comes to the Euros, they'll probably have a good tournament. Whether they'll win it or not is another thing. But I think eventually, depending on what happens with this, you may well see a change in manager. Maybe because Josh and Mo's been in the job for so long now, it might be good to get someone else in and just sort of freshen things up again.
Or something maybe.
Yeah, or there's plenty of good managers coming up through for the Bundesliga as well.
Could even see old Clipperdy take the job, Clipperdy Klopp.
Yeah, maybe. Especially if he wins something major with Liverpool, this season, and that, is he going to want to turn down the chance to manage his country? I do think with Germany though, the one thing I look at when I look at a squad, and I sort of struggle with is you've got the good sort of midfield players like your Ozils, your Draxlers and Royce and players like that. You've got players like Nicholas Saul or Serler, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but who's centre back who's coming through. But they're still relying on the likes of Thomas Muller up front, and it's like they don't really see like a good. I mean, they've got Timo Werner sort of coming up, but they don't really seem to have that firepower. I think people look at Germany and maybe assume that Lewandowski is German, so he should be playing. But obviously, he's Polish, but with him being the best striker in that league, you could argue they don't really have a sort of clinical goal scorer in their squad, which I think is a big part of their problem.
It's like they miss Miroslav Klose.
Someone like that. Yeah,
he was always one of those poacher, fox in the box type player, and
all-time goal scorer at the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. So with this, then I'm thinking that there's obviously Germany look like they're going down. They've got one more game to go. That's against Holland, and if they win that, then they'll move up onto 4 points. And yeah, it's the only way that I think Germany are going to stop themselves from going down to League B is they're going to need to definitely beat Holland, because all Holland pretty much need is a draw against France and they're through, because you know the swing on goal difference, like the Germans are -4, so you know they're going to need to beat Holland quite convincingly if Holland get a draw with France. So you know I can see France, I feel, easily winning that group. Holland could come second, but then that could help them because they've not been to the World Cup, you know, qualify for the tournament again. They could be like the dark horses to go through the backdoor route.
It'd be nice to see Holland, like you said, like go through the backdoor route. But then I feel like if they, because they wasn't in the World Cup, to stand out, they need to win. Do you know what I mean? They have to do it convincingly to prove a point that they may not have been in it, but
yeah,
they're not out. So I think that's how I look at it. But I reckon France will just stay undefeated. You know, I think they've 1-2 drawn 1-2 drawn 1. So I think they'll just flat out.
Yeah, and like their last game's away at Holland anyway. So yeah, they had a 2-1 win at home. So
I think, I mean, obviously you look at it, and I think with France, I mean they're pretty much going to finish top of the group unless, you know, I mean, but really with that Holland France game, obviously it's at Holland. They've, you know, as Rob said, they've got a point. You know, Holland want a point to prove. They want to prove that they're going to, you know, get into the Euros and actually compete. And realistically, with them being at home as well, it gives them a big advantage. I don't think they will beat France, but I think it'll be a really close match. I mean, you saw the reverse fixture was 2-1. I think you'll probably see something a bit similar with France, probably just about edging it, just because. Especially when you compare Holland's front three to France's front three, I think I saw the lineups for the last game that when Holland beat Germany. I think Ryan Babel's still playing in the front three for Holland.
He retired.
I did not know he was still playing, which was.
You've got Dirk Kuyt on the other side.
Maybe, yeah. It was Babel, Depay, and someone else I can't quite remember. But like it, so, but I do think that Holland will be incredibly competitive against France, and it'll be a tight game. The chance they could edge it.
Yeah. They've got some good young players coming through as well.
Exactly.
They've got like Justin Kluivert.
That's I think
Patrick
it might
Son.
have been him.
Yeah, there's a few more that were. I know from when Ajax played Man United in the Europa League the other year, and it was like a lot of their young players were, you know, being touted by big teams, but they were like, no, we're gonna stay here.
I suppose as well, if you're Holland, you're gonna want to. Even if you get a draw, like you said, that pretty much puts them through. You're not going to want to go away to Germany, who have lost, you know, every single game, and want to finish on a bit of a high, you know, knee in the results to secure qualification. Yeah. So I think I can't really see. I think Holland will just about do enough. I can see them probably nicking a draw at home to France, and I can definitely see them going away to Germany and getting that result because they just swept them aside in the reverse fixture.
So we all reckon the Germans are going down.
Unfortunately for them, yes.
Be a good day for English football. So then we move on now to Group 2, which features Belgium, Switzerland and Iceland. And Iceland are actually the first team to get relegated from League A. They've not scored a single goal, lost every single game. They're drubbing away at Switzerland, 6-0. And then lost the reverse fixture against them, 2-1. So, but then Switzerland are quietly going about their business as well. So it's, I think, a straight shootout with them and Belgium, equal points. Switzerland have actually scored considerably more goals than Belgium as well. And you know, you think the firepower that Belgium have got, you think they'd be like banging goals in left, right, and centre. But you know. 2 games, 5 goals, not too bad. For me, I think Belgium will get a hatful against Iceland. And then the last game is Switzerland-Belgium, so you'd probably say that is the straight like shootout of who's going to win that group.
So it'd be interesting to see Iceland at least win one game. So as much as I don't want to, because of the England scenario, but I would root for them just to win the one, and then maybe that will shake the table up just a little bit at the top, between the top 2.
The one they've got is away at Belgium, so it's going to be a tall order for them. But
think it would be nice. I think everyone, as much as it, you know, it was painful to watch England get knocked out by Iceland, I think everyone had a massive amount of respect for them, given their stature and what they actually did in that tournament. But it's, I mean, looking at the fact they're, you know, it's away at Belgium, who, okay, even though Lukaku's off form at the moment for his club, I mean, he's still banging in goals regularly for Belgium. That doesn't really seem to be a problem. You know, Hazard, De Bruyne and Dembele into the mix.
Yeah. They've not got a bad squad.
It's a very good squad.
Really.
You can see why they got as far as they did in the World Cup, and I think they'll have a really good Euros as well. I think they'll come very close again to winning it. As far as Switzerland go, a few good players, but I think Belgium will top that group fairly easy. I mean, you look at Switzerland, I think Shaqiri's probably that main player.
Yeah, they got Shaqiri, Ricardo Rodriguez, not the WWE.
No.
So, the left back playing for AC Milan, I think he's playing for now. Used to play for, was it Wolfsburg?
Yeah, Wolfsburg.
Yeah, he used to play for Wolfsburg. You know, he's decent. They've got Breland Bolo, who's
he's a really good young player. Yeah, he's put Schalke at the moment, I think.
Plays in Germany.
But yeah, I mean, even with, like, say, with Belgium, even with someone like Lukaku is not firing, you've got players like, I mean, you've got Batshuayi who you can bring off the bench. You got the other Hazard, you've got Benteke if he's still getting called up to the squad.
I think he's injured at the moment.
Is he still injured? Oh,
I think he's out for the rest. I know they said the rest of the year. I don't know if it's the rest of the season.
Oh, right.
But he's done.
To be fair, he's done so little for so long. I just assume he's still playing. He's not,
Yeah.
just not doing anything. So
Yeah, and yeah, so even at the back, like the strength in depth they've got there. You know, they've got the Tongan Company, Alderweireld, even push if they need to drag him out. Thomas Vermaelen as well.
You got Munio, who's the right back for PSG.
Yeah.
He's really good. It's just you look at Belgium's squad and you think they've got to have a really good shot at winning something like the European Championships, where you take away the Brazils and the Argentinas and stuff, and
I think it's one of them where they'd probably call this Belgium's golden generation.
Yeah, this is their best
and
chance.
This is like, you know, if they don't win something now, they could go into like decline and not like go years and years without winning anything.
You probably get another 2 tournaments out of, say, Lukaku, or 2 or 3 tournaments out of like Lukaku, Hazard, De Bruyne and stuff. Obviously, companies getting on a bit.
I think people think that, like, people forget though how young some of them still are. You know, like they're still, like, I know Hazard, Lukaku, and that they're all still like mid-20s.
Yeah,
you know, so they've probably got a few years left. Yeah,
Lukaku's what,
25, 26.
I just thought he's been around forever.
Is because he was on loan, I suppose, wasn't he? Because he was at Chelsea, then he went to.
We got loaned out when he was like 18, I think. So he's been in the Premier League scoring goals since about 18 now.
Yeah.
So it's
and then just
incredible
suddenly stopped.
Yeah.
The thing is with him, like, he'll go on like a drought, and then all of a sudden he's just back again. Like he'll just start banging him. So you never know.
You never know. You know, it could be kick up the arse he needs.
Yeah, I mean, not to bring obviously Premier League and club football into it, but I will say it does seem to be a factor the fact he's scoring goals regularly for Belgium and not for Manchester United.
He's old Everton manager Roberto Martinez.
Yeah,
as well, so.
yeah. So he obviously thrives in that sort of system. He scored bags of goals for Everton when Martinez was there.
And I suppose as well they had the Thierry Henry effect as well with Belgium as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, Henry was not a bad goal scorer.
Yeah, so it's a good you know, pro to have when you're coaching stuff. Yeah, I think Belgium's got that in the bag.
So we'll reckon Belgium to win that one.
Sorry, Iceland.
Iceland have gone already. So they're moving on to Group 3, and another team that have already gone are Poland, who are in the group with Portugal and Italy. Now, Italy have played a game more than Portugal, 2 points less. They play each other in their next game. For me, I think Portugal are going to win that. It's like Italy are not the force that they used to be. Like we see as well, Italy, another one, didn't qualify for this year's World Cup. It is quite an ageing Italian team as well. I suppose some of the younger players they've got coming through are not really of the quality of, of old kind of thing. I mean, Donnarumma is a quality option in goal. Aside from that, it's like
slim pickings a bit.
Yes, and normally you could name Italy's starting 11 like right off the bat
Yeah.
when they had the likes of like Nesta, Maldini, Costa Curta,
Pirlo,
Pirlo, Parlo, Di Canio. Never did he play for Italy?
Di Canio, I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
That's a crying
He
shame
may have
if he
had like
never-
one of the odd cap here and there, but I don't think he was ever like.
Not regular.
No.
That is a crying shame if Paulo Di Canio never played for
Yeah.
Italy. So yeah, and Portugal still European champions at the moment, the current holders of
Yeah.
that. They seem like they're not doing too bad. I think the 2 games they've played so far, Ronaldo's not played in either of them.
No.
They've still managed to come out with victories, albeit, you know, one was against essentially a poor Poland team, and it's, you know, 2 games left for them. If they get 6 points, they could be potentially the only team that finished this with maximum points. I think they've probably got a good shot of winning it. It could be that Ronaldo factor that just pushes them over the line, but as it's shown, they're doing fine without him. And it's like, realistically, how long has he got left?
Yeah.
You know, in the Portugal team, will he quit to focus on club football, or?
I think if he did, the way Portugal are going at the moment, I don't. Obviously, there'd be a big loss, but if they can stay consistent, I think they'll be all right. Personally.
Yeah, they're not doing too bad. As I say, like, they're European champions. You know, Ronaldo got injured early on in that game as well. Was it France they played in that final, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dimitri Payet, I think, clattered him and took him out of the game, which at the time was hilarious.
And then was it Eder who scored? Was it Eder?
Yeah.
And it's a play you've probably never heard of since.
He
played for Swansea at
Yeah,
one
season
point.
on loan at Swansea and did like nothing. He scored like 2 goals and then just come off the bench and scored like a 30-yard screamer, which
In
ridiculous.
in probably the biggest game of his career. And
I think for me, Portugal and Italy are sort of quite similarly placed at the moment in terms of. I know Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup last year, so they're probably a bit further down. But I think I look at those two and look at sort of see them as 2 teams you would normally associate with being big, sort of dominating teams in those sort of competitions. For
they're normally like the latter stages of competition.
Over the
like
last few
quarters,
years,
semis.
probably not as dangerous. I think Portugal, whilst they've done very well, obviously, you know, win 2 games out of 2, and they had an okay World Cup. I think they'd be disappointed by it, really, looking back. And I do think they're very reliant on Ronaldo. Like, you think up to the Spain game in the World Cup. Obviously, Ronaldo got the hat trick, and if he was on the pitch, they lose that game.
To be fair, we've not been the same since Ronaldo left as well.
Yeah,
so,
and you look
it
at,
shows the effect. I mean, people always say one player doesn't make a team,
Yeah.
but when that one player is Cristiano Ronaldo,
well, you look
know,
at Real Madrid. Like, I don't think it's just down to the fact that he left and why they're struggling so badly. There's a number of factors, but it definitely, you know, the last 3 Champions Leagues they've won, he pretty much dragged them to at least the finals. Like, how they got to the final when they played Liverpool is. Because I watched all the knockout games, they pretty much shithoused their way to that final. But it shows how important he is. But I mean, the fact that obviously he wasn't played and they're still winning is good. But I mean, 3-2 against Poland.
Yeah.
You know, you look at it and you think they sort of scraped by in a game. They really should be winning a bit more comfortably than that.
Mind you, Poland, they're bottom of the group at the moment. They've got 1 point, and to be fair, all of their games though have been really tight. So they only lost 1-0 against Italy, 3-2 against Portugal, and drew with Italy in the first game. So it's not like Poland are like the whipping boys of the group.
No,
it seems
no,
like
definitely
they're
not.
quite unlucky
Yeah.
at the moment. And
But yeah, I just think it's similar with Italy. Like, I look at both squads and it's like there are a few bits of quality sort of scattered amongst their sort of first starting 11.
yeah, I think it's one of them where both
quite enough.
years ago, both teams, Italy and Portugal, would have had players that could have walked into any team.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now you could probably count between both teams on one hand how many of them players would like walk into any team.
Well, I look at it this way. If you're an England fan and you're going into a World Cup or a Euros and you're getting into a knockout draw and you draw up against, you know, would you want to play with those sides? I think these days, if you drew like in a World Cup, you get a Belgium or a Croatia, you sort of can go, that's going to be tricky. If you draw against Italy or Portugal, you've quite got a good decent chance of nicking a result there. because we're not too far off them, I don't think.
Yeah. And I suppose especially with both of them where they've got quite like ageing defences as well.
That's the thing as well. It's an old squad. It's a fairly aging squad, and I think they just need some new blood in there, just to sort of give
just
them
literally just look at Wolves. Wolves
Yeah.
have got pretty much half of Portugal playing for them at the moment. So
Ruben Neves is Portuguese, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is. So if he's going to be massive, like I think he's going to go on to do really big things. I think it's
yeah,
I think
he's
gonna
very good. He's been in very good form.
Potential future captain for Portugal. I'll go as far to say. It's a very good player.
I mean, who they got at the moment? Nani, I think, is captaining them.
Yeah, Nani or maybe Matinho if he still plays. But I think Nani.
Matinho, yeah, he's at Wolves as
well.
well.
Yeah.
And the goalkeeper, Rui Patricio,
yeah,
randomly wearing number 11.
Yeah.
In goal. But anyway, so who do we reckon's going to top the group? Italy or Portugal? Bear in mind, Portugal have got a game in hand, well, against Italy and Poland.
I think Portugal will just about do it.
Yeah.
Are they going to finish on maximum?
I can see that Italy Portugal game finishing as a draw.
So then we move on. Sticking with League A, we now move on to obviously the most important group, the one that the mighty England are in, and that is Group 4. So that's England, Spain, and Croatia. Now, obviously England and Croatia have their history from the World Cup, and we got an extremely boring 0-0 draw against Croatia in pretty much, I thought it was the Etihad they were playing. It was that empty there, and it was, all because I think it was somebody drew it through a swastika or something on the pitch.
Yeah, it was something dodgy.
Something along those lines, and Croatia were forced to play behind closed doors, and it just seemed like that sucked the life out of the entire game. Like when you can hear the players literally shouting.
It's like watching a friendly. It's like watching a pre-season friendly.
It was literally like you go over like Hackney Marshes on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And you're watching like Big Dave standing there with his dog and his big coat on. And just it was these two games were mainly like England dominating games because obviously Croatia and Spain were meeting next time round. So the second game on that week was the England-Spain game. I think a lot of people were expecting Spain to actually do a job on England, and we were happily disappointed with that Spain didn't do the job on England. And in fact it was, for me, one of the most mature performances I think I've seen from an England team, and it was sparked, I feel, by the quality challenge from Eric Dyer on Sergio Ramos early on, and I still do not know how he got a booking for that. When even Ramos said to him afterwards, that was a great challenge.
Yeah.
And, I just think, we've spoken about it before on here, but the job that Gareth Southgate is doing, I think, is a very, very good job. And, England could well come out of this victorious. I mean, you've got Croatia and Spain in the next game. Is there going to be that headache from the World Cup, that hangover from Croatia? They don't seem like they're doing too well here. They've had 2 games, they've not scored a goal. Spain hit them for 6 in the first game. And then obviously that infamous behind closed doors game, and now they've got to get something against Spain at home, and then they go to the mighty home of Tottenham, Wembley Stadium. Hopefully the pitch is a bit better then.
Yeah.
So
I think with what sort of got a bit to say about it, because I've talked to some mates about it. Basically, for ages I've been saying how I think the problem with England have had in the past is that we don't ever seem to have a real identity in terms of how we play. You look at teams like Germany, the style they're going to play. Spain, the style they're going to play. Italy, they're going to be defensive and compact. England have always just sort of put together, okay, let's just pick 11 players from the top sort of 4, 5, 6 clubs in the league, and just make a team out of it, and it never works. I think what Southgate did in the last World Cup, it was the start of implementing the system, and especially with the focus being on youth as well, which I think was massive for us.
I think where he's worked with a lot of the players from the 21s, I think that's actually been one of the huge beneficial factors for him. You know, 'cause he knows the players, he knows what systems they play, and it's like even during the Spain game, like England started out with, I think it was a 4-2-3-1.
Well, yeah,
and then it's easily interchangeable.
Well, this is
into the 5 at the back.
Yeah, so then this is what impresses me most about Southgate. 'Cause I think after the World Cup, as good as it was and as good as England did, I think it would still be fair to sit there and pick out very reasonable criticisms of what he could have done better in certain games. And I think the system that we were going with in the World Cup worked for what it needed, in terms of what it needed to, because of the players that were available. But now he's actually going for it a little bit more, and I think with especially playing 2 up front, which I think is something that England has needed to do for a long, long time and just hasn't ever done. You know, persistently playing either Wayne Rooney up front by himself, or if we got another striker in form, well, let's just drop Rooney back into midfield instead of playing him as a second striker.
Yeah, it's so easy for him to get isolated.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, we spoke about when Iceland knocked out the Euros, you had Jamie Vardy and Harry Kane in the same squads, and they rarely played together. And that coming off of a season where Leicester won the league, and Kane was top that big breakthrough year for Tottenham, like they should have gone as strike partners. Now that we've got Rashford and Kane playing together, and you saw the way they linked up. Sterling playing in behind.
I mean, even Sterling, he can play.
Yeah,
he can easily play there. So
exactly,
it's that good thing with the England team at the moment is it is all interchangeable. Really.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, if Kane does drop back, Rashford will go forward. You know, if Rashford drops back, you know, the midfielders can go forward. You know, especially they've got Barkley who likes playing that 10 role, and he's been magnificent.
We've got players now
for Chelsea this year.
Well, we've got players now who actually fit the system that the manager wants to play, rather than just I'll just call up players from Liverpool, Man United and Chelsea, which it has been in the past. And I think
it has. And
you look at Mason Mount got called up to the last England team, and he's playing in the Championship. And it's such a credit to the manager that he's looking at these sort of players, and he's going, and like Maddison for Leicester, who's having a really good start to his season. Chilwell looks like a really good left back. So we've now gone from having Ashley Young as our only left back option to having Ben Chilwell and Luke Shaw, who are 2 really good sort of youngish left back options.
Danny Rose, Ryan Bertrand, you know, Kieran Gibbs even.
Yeah, so I think we're in
Cresswell as well.
Not so much,
because that was always England's problem, was the left-hand side. Like, obviously you had Ashley Cole playing at left back for years and years, but then it was always that who was going to play in front of him.
I should say Cresswell should have been in the England squad about 4 or 5 years ago before he got a really bad injury, because he was the best left back in the league for 2 seasons. But
was that when they were going with who did they have at the time? Was it Leighton Baines and
Baines, and I think they just started playing Young at left back as well. I think around that time.
It was random.
It wasn't good. But I digress. But yeah, I think it's great. I think what's really promising going into this tournament is that he's actually changing his style and not being as cautious as he was in the World Cup with 3 defenders. He's making a forward back system with 2 strikers, using the fact that Sterling's maybe not as effective in terms of goal scoring on the wing in the system we're playing, and we maybe haven't got as many good wingers that we can use. So let's pack the midfield with a midfield 3 and have Sterling be the creative option. It's brilliant. It's really exciting to look forward to for the next Euros, because we might have a genuine chance of getting to another semi, maybe even the final.
And I think even the strength in depth that we've got at the moment is actually pretty good. So it's not like, okay, so if so and so gets injured, like if Harry Kane was to get injured, yes, England would miss him, but there are still strikers in the squad that you could bring in.
Yeah, I mean, Danny Welbeck's scoring goals this season.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you know, so that
exactly.
That's what we need to know.
And he's got a very good record for England.
Yeah,
and you know, it sounds really stupid. Peter Crouch as well. Jermaine Defoe. You know, they're older guys, and
every 4 years, do we take Andy Carroll?
Yeah, no. Should we take Andy Carroll, or is he still going to be?
There's no point. But yeah, that's my piece. I'll let someone else talk. Speak about our chances.
No, I do agree. I just feel like as well, you got to look at them coming off of the World Cup, and now look at them now. They're just more confident. There's chemistry. There's confident, as you said. Southgate, he's doing the job that he should. Do you know what I mean? Like they're just overall happy with everything that's going on. So I don't know. I can see them consistently getting better, and as you said, as the youth come up, they're just going to get stronger.
And it's more like it's that team mentality
That's
now.
it,
It's not.
exactly.
I mean, before there was so many egos, and you know, it's like, could this one and that one play in the same team?
Well, you think of what there was that whole thing on I think it was like Rio Ferdinand and Steven Gerrard, and I think it might have been Paul Scholes were talking about what it was like being in like that golden generation and why it didn't work out. And they were saying, well,
like the United players.
yeah, well, we're Man United, we're competing with the league with
yeah.
Chelsea and Liverpool, so we don't really want to give too much away because it might affect the league form. And effectively putting club before country, which for me, I don't understand how you can do that. If you want to be a professional footballer, for me playing for England and wanting to win a World Cup with England should be the pinnacle, really, of your career. But we don't really have that anymore. Like I said, because you got a few players from Leicester, you got a few players from like someone again. Mason Mount playing in the Championship with Derby County. You've got a mix of players in there.
They called up Bettinelli from Fulham,
yeah,
goalkeeper.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a real, like I said, there's a real harmony. I think everyone seems to be on the same level. Do you know? And everyone seems to be on the same wavelength of like.
And I think it's just Southgate's giving them a chance. It's not like, you know, you had years ago Fabio Capello had like his players that I'm only going to pick the players that are like the big names for England. Yeah. You know, Fabio Capello, I don't think he would have ever gone like, I'm going to look in the Championship. I don't even think he knew what the Championship was. No. And yeah, just as I say, I think Southgate's doing a tremendous job, and you know, he signed a new contract through to the World Cup in Qatar.
If it's going to be in Qatar.
If it's going to be in Qatar, yeah. Might be a bit hot for a waistcoat there.
Yeah.
Or we might just go for the waistcoat with no shirt.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be an interesting fashion choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are we all agreed that we think England are going to go through?
I think England are going to go through, and I think I think Spain are away in Croatia.
They are
next. So I think Croatia haven't really turned up yet in that group. They can, on their day they can beat anyone. So I think if that result goes, if they beat Spain.
They'll probably show up against us, to be fair.
They could but I think we're coming off the back of that Spain result. It's going to be at home, and at home. It's the first time they'll be playing at Wembley since knocking us out of the World Cup. The fans are going to be up for it. I think, my head says that Spain are probably going to go win the group, but I do think we have a chance of, if results go our way, we could end up topping that just by about a point or two. So I won't rule us out.
Yeah. Makes a change that we're positive about.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm enjoying it. You got to enjoy it. Like it's been so. I mean,
once in a lifetime kind of stuff.
Well, you think how like negative everyone was about tournaments like previously, like going into tournaments going, well, we know what's going to happen.
We're going to get and lose on penalties.
Yeah,
we'll go and bloody win a penalty.
Yeah. So whilst things are going well, I think let's just enjoy it.
Yeah. So it looks like Croatia are pretty much down in that sense, and it then brings us on nicely to one of the teams that they are most likely going to meet when they eventually do go down to League B, and that is the teams in the group with Wales, Denmark and the Republic of Ireland. So the home nations, as we see, Wales are, at the moment, Wales are top in the group under Ryan Giggs, who, a lot like Southgate, he's turning to some of the younger players. He's bringing through Ethan Ampadu, plays for Chelsea. Looks at very good players. Harry Wilson, the Derby player, scored a magnificent free kick against us at Old Trafford.
He's got another one the weekend, I think.
I think it was in the Wales game. I think was it?
Oh, it was the Wales game.
Yeah, to win the game against Ireland.
It was, yeah.
It was, to put them top of the group. And when Denmark decide that they're going to have a team show up at something as well, the only team that's beaten Wales so far in this, and Wales, I think, look like they could be the dark horses to go through from that group, and Ireland are just not looking the same.
No, I think I mean Wales have, this is probably the best group of players like we've had in a very long time, especially when you look at the likes of Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey being the sort of two obvious ones. Ashley Williams before he went to Everton and just became like a non-league player.
He's at Stoke now.
Is he? Yeah, I
He's on loan at Stoke.
I don't know what happened. Like he was great at Swansea. He went to Everton and just awful.
Swansea's captain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Leader of Swansea, pretty much.
Yeah, just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, I think
But no, I think Giggs was, Giggs is pretty much it was a sensible appointment for him. I know he's not got really any experience in management apart from when he took over from Moyes for those sort of last few games, but it's a good squad of players that he's got, and obviously if you're a young player coming up, the fact you're working with Ryan Giggs as your manager, like one of the best Premier League players of all time, you're going to take a lot from that, and I think that probably shows the effect he has on the squad. With regards to Republic of Ireland, I mean, they've been, as they pretty much always have been, every now and then they'll get into a tournament and people will root for him. But Martin O'Neill, this does tend to happen to him. He has a sort of good run, and then it just slowly starts to fall apart.
Yeah, he's one of these where he gets kind of linked with all the jobs with everyone, and then he's like, no, he'll have this good, as you say, has this good run, and then it'll just be like, it'll just crash down, and I think if he steps away, then probably his number 2, Roy Keane, would be an option to take over, and
which arguably, I mean, you look at the whole thing. Like, I think Keane fell out of Harry Arter pretty publicly. There was that whole thing. I mean, I think that's not. There's been certain things that haven't helped Ireland. I mean, like I said, the whole Harry Arter thing was pretty public. There was a whole thing with I've got to mention him because wearing a shirt. The whole thing with Declan Rice about if he's going to pick Ireland or England. O'Neill made the choice to make that public that he still hadn't decided which country he was going to play for, and it just seems to be quite a lot of negative press on them at the moment, which just never helps any football side.
Yeah, I mean, just touching on that Declan Rice thing, I mean, where do you kind of stand on it from both of you really, from a West Ham point of view?
Yeah.
Although you're wearing an Olympiacos shirt, you're a West Ham fan. Obviously, being English as well, Declan Rice.
For me, yeah, he has. I mean, he has played, I think 3, maybe 4 games. I think 3 games for the Republic of Ireland. I think he got man of the match in 2 of them. And I know that his grandparents are Irish. So I think looking at it from that, if he's played from already, probably should commit to it. But at the same time, the option is there for him. He was born in England. He was raised in England. He grew up in London specifically, and
would he get into the England team though?
I honestly think if Southgate's looking at youth, I think Rice has been one of the few bright sparks for West Ham this season. He's been unbelievable. And not to make it more about the Premier League, but like every game he's played so far this season, he's been, like I said, everyone walks away going how good Declan Rice has been.
Consistent,
very consistent. For someone who's like 18, 19.
Whenever I've seen him, he's been.
And and he can play centre back. He can play central sort of defensive midfields. And again, I think if I'm Declan Rice, I'm looking at the two options. You've got Southgate, who's making this whole thing about picking youth and giving youth a chance, and not just naming them from big clubs. You can look at that and go, well, I might have a chance of getting into the England squad and having a really good tournament and having like a much better chance of winning something incredible with England than I would with Republic of Ireland, where he, in his career, might get to 1 or 2 tournaments. England, he could have about 5 or 6. So I would understand it if he did play for England. As an England fan, I'd want him to play for England because I think he's a very good player who would be a real asset to us. But I wouldn't begrudge him if he decided to play for Republic of Ireland either. So
will he play for England before Mark Noble?
Oh, without question.
It's the big
without
question.
Without question. Yeah, we need a West Ham midfielder to make up for Noble never getting called up, which is a joke. But
that was pretty much why we didn't win the World Cup, wasn't it, this time? Because there were 3 West Ham players in there. So, Declan Rice could have been one, Cresswell, Andy Carroll.
No chance.
So, I mean, it looks like Ireland are pretty much down in that one, and probably be joining Scotland down in League C. Wales, on the other hand, they're doing pretty well. Wales could even, I can see Wales getting promoted up to League A.
Be interesting.
League A. And then you got Northern Ireland, who, they're down as well. I think they pretty much with the Republic. They're gone. Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Austria in that group. They don't really stand out as big nations. Bosnia and Austria, but
I'm amazed Bosnia have done as well, like 3 wins on them.
think
Freeze,
Edin
he's
Dzeko's
brilliant.
probably
He's-
dragging them
he's
through
great,
that.
yeah, he's
you
great.
know, and then you've got Austria who.
They have got a certain Marko Arnautovic, Austria,
Yeah.
who is I'm a big fan of. I'm sure Rob is as well.
Yeah, so he's another famous Arnie out of
Yeah.
Austria, yeah. So I think we're all pretty settled that Northern Ireland they're definitely down in that one.
they're just like I said before, they're just
So
same as they've always been, very poor.
then we've got the other home nation, which is Scotland, who are in they're in a decent position. They've got 2 games left. Albania and Israel, the other 2 teams in their group. As it stands, Israel are top in the group. Scotland the same points as Albania, but they've got a game more, and their next game is against Albania. What do we think that they can get at? I mean, I think even if they should beat Albania, to be fair, and then the final game, I reckon, may decide the group, which is Scotland and Israel at Hampden Park. You know, the atmosphere at Hampden is always fantastic for Scotland games. That's not to say the football always is, but what do we reckon? Scotland, are they going to be making the move up?
I reckon they're going to win it. I reckon they'll draw with Albania, and then they'll win convincingly against Israel. I'm not saying it's going to be great, but
I mean,
they'll convincingly win it.
We can see like there's been quite a lot of goals in this group so far. You've got 1-0, 2-0, and 2-1.
It's this thing you get down to these lower groups. It's going to be a lot of scrappy, close games out there because the quality of football is going to be. It's sort of you look at like the league divisions, I suppose, with England, like a lot of scrappy 1-0, 2-1s, 2-0s. Like you're not going to.
Sometimes they're the best ones.
I
Though.
think they're willing to take it though. That's the thing.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think with.
They're happy to go 1-0 up and then like sit back for
definitely.
80 odd minutes.
I think
it's a tactic Mourinho's used, not too effectively this season as well.
I think, like you said as well, it's a good point about them being at home is a big advantage because, like, I mean, you've seen when England have played it away at Scotland, it's always tricky just because of how intimidating the atmosphere is there.
And it's always because of England, Scotland as well.
Yeah, exactly.
On the whole,
Scotland never really travelled that well, which I think was, you see they lost away at Israel, but I think they'll just about scrape it by like a point or so, but I think it'll be very close. But yeah, it'd be nice to see them push up a bit more.
And then I've got to just have one little shout out as well to the mighty Gibraltar. Who they are UEFA's newest nation at the moment,
right.
And they actually won their first ever game against Armenia, and then followed that up at home against Liechtenstein with a 2-1 victory. They closed the roads off for the planes to land right next to the stadium.
I saw the footage. I think it was from the first game they won, and it's just like unbelievable how like
their stadium's about as big as Milan Stadium.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even a category like.
It's insane to think what that does for a country, how much it means to them. It's fantastic.
You know,
so,
the fact that they're sitting second in their group behind Macedonia, like
with a genuine chance of
there's no.
going up.
I suppose this is the good thing about this tournament is that you are going to get some shocks. You know, like the amount of times you'll always get, like say in England, San Marino.
Yeah.
Like I know myself and Scott, who's been on the show. You know, we went and watched an England-San Marino game, and it's like, specifically, you get tickets for that game, you're like, no, I'm going to see goals. And it got to a point where Joe Hart touched the ball and the whole crowd roared, you know, and he was like sitting down in the penalty box for a bit of the game.
I did an England game where it was one of those teams, I think it was I know it was Peru, and it was the game where, because it happened about a few seats from above where I was sitting, someone... You get given those sort of like match program things or something.
Oh, was that the one with the
paper airplane? And you can see it go all the way down and hit the Peru captain straight in the head. And it was honestly, I think we were like 5-0. But that was the best moment of the whole game. It was incredible. But yeah, I think it, like you said, it's good for the way this tournament's set up. You get these sort of smaller teams battling out against each other, and they have an opportunity to actually win a game for once. You know what I mean? Rather than just all turning out to make the numbers up. So yeah, it's brilliant.
So we picked France, Belgium, Portugal, and England to top the groups. So the way the Nations League works, it means them 4 are going to go into like a semi-final and then eventually into a final. Who is going to win it? The inaugural Nations League.
I don't think you can look past France at the moment. Because they're just such a good. They've got such a good squad, and I think the way they're set up is like you saw obviously from the World Cup. I mean, players like Mbappe. You know, when Pogba's in the France team, he seems to turn it on quite a lot, and they're just so dangerous. I do honestly think that England. Mainly because I think they'll take it really seriously. I think there are some nations that probably won't care that much about progressing in the Nations League, but I think England will take it very seriously, and I think we've got a good shot at least getting to a final.
I think it's like we said with Portugal, like the fact they're not playing Ronaldo, people could see that as like they're not taking it too seriously. But they're still coming out and they're still getting the results.
Whereas I think for us, we see it as a confidence builder. We see it as an opportunity to actually get some experience when you actually go to the real tournament. So I'd say a France-England final is not too unrealistic, but I think France will probably take it.
I think your heart has to say England, doesn't it?
That's the thing, yeah. But
what does the head say?
Belgium.
The head says Belgium.
That's a good shout. It's a really good shout.
Yeah, I suppose for me, obviously you've got Portugal, the European champions still. You got France, the world champions. Obviously, England meeting Belgium twice at the World Cup. I think Belgium will probably be the team that we would want to avoid. I think if we could get a game against Portugal, I think Portugal would probably be the ideal draw for England. And then if we can get past Portugal, then it's going to be tough, but we could do it. But I'm going to go with France. I think France are going to win it. So, before we get out of here, as you know, if you've watched the show before, I always have a bonus question at the end for my guests. And this week, it is Nations League themed. So, in the Nations League, one club from the Premier League, their players have scored more goals than any other team. But, what I want to know is that club Tottenham, Manchester United, or Arsenal?
I was thinking City, but they didn't come up, so that's thrown me off.
Arsenal.
I'm gonna go with.
Narrowed it down to 2. Incorrect.
Is it?
I'm trying to think back logically, so I'm gonna go with Manchester United.
Is the correct answer.
2 in a row.
6 goals, 4 from Romelu Lukaku.
I was thinking. I figured
2 from Marcus Rashford.
I figured Lukaku and Rashford. I thought Pogba might have scored like a couple, but yeah.
Literally, they're the only 2 players from Man United.
Wow.
And, so, that's it for this episode of Goal Hanging. As you see, Mike got the question right, got his bonus pint. Unfortunately, Rob didn't get another pint of strawberry water. I didn't even get another coffee, but there we go. Anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you liked what you see, you can check us out on social media. And yeah, don't forget, rebnoise.com is the place for all the football content you want from us. And yeah, thanks for goal hanging. Make sure you subscribe to Rebellious Noise or I'll come around and I'll beat your ass! No. And we'll see you next time. Come and goal hang with me again.